Welcome to TradeTheNBA.com. This is John's reports for the 18th of August, and so much for the summit. They didn't really care for it. Market faded it quite well. No shock with any of this. It was completely just back and forth again. It's the idea that who's the winner and loser, and as far as they're concerned, Trump lost on this one. Why, we don't know. Zelensky obviously is coming today in order to have some chats, and that looks like the European leaders are going to be involved and get their 2 cents into it. But the broader issue is whether or not the U.S. and Russia are going to have improved relations, which it looks like it's going to be the case. Which, from a sanctions standpoint, that could be interesting, and that's where everyone's going to be focusing on what happens with oil and where we go in that department. We had a brief DOC spread there where cyan popped back above red and green dipping below. We still have full steel reset. So it's that modest back and forth like I talked about. You'll get up and back and forth, new highs, and then fade off of it. Not in any positive extreme area. The shakeout is still positive, so muted is literally what we've got. Nasdaq far weaker though. You can see MBI magenta well under the 33 here. Yellow almost there. Once that happens, then you've got significant enough crossover. But of course, you're going to see MBI white spike back up again, which it's not doing at this particular stage. So we'll just watch the degree at which the rejection takes place here from a softness standpoint, whether short-term buyers have enough to make up for it here as we get into the later part of the month, which usually is a lot less activity and interest in order to support things. So it's just sort of look at the option situation and see where it's overweighted, and it's got to move the opposite direction of it. From a treasury standpoint, yields coming up just slightly. Again, Fed not even a player in any of this situation, and oil not breaking down any further. So wait and see kind of situation from the fact that everyone's talked about increasing their production and stuff, but still lagging dramatically, and that a lot of it we talked about the headwinds that had been set up before Trump came into office that he wasn't going to be able to overcome in a super rapid pace, and hasn't been able to. So that's delaying things, and of course, there's exciting news for the Europeans because they're back in the power seat because they're going to be involved with the discussions with Zelensky and help make sure that he's protected, so that Trump doesn't give away the farm. I don't know what that means because at the end of the day, the Ukrainians are dying by the thousands, and they keep losing territory every day. So go figure. But that's all relative because they're on the right side of things, PR wise. I guess that's where we're looking at it from. From a gold standpoint, it was a nice little bounce back. Uncertainty always helping gold maintain itself. It's still within a week run here with NDI white in the lead, and certainly within a DOC spread that's expanding. And that's a byproduct of the fact that inflation just is not rearing its head, and all this talk about the tariffs. The CPI numbers for actually the producer price index was higher, where it's just an indication that corporations are eating much of the current situation with tariffs because there just isn't that much elasticity in demand. And this is one of those things where when you understand broader economics, it's like they can't raise prices even if they wanted to because there are other competing products that are selling for less. So it gives them a very modest range of what they're able to do anything with and still maintain market share. They can give up market share. That's a whole different story. Bitcoin has taken a little bit of a respite here, moving back towards its 50%. And with the MBI white spike lead, it was just a matter of waiting for that to dip below 33. And sure enough, it's shipped it right towards that 50% to fill that back in. Had a couple of positive extremes that literally taken care of, and it had already completed those. So next step would be going back to here, but it had already filled that. So on the last dip. So it's just regular technical behavior, just following with the readings. ETH finally coming off of a series of positive extremes. Got a lot more to fill back in, but it's been the poster child of success. Uh, fading off just a tad bit for the time being. So everyone's taking a little summer break right before everyone gets back to school and it all starts up again. From a 50K standpoint, you can see we've filled back in. Well, we'd already done it, the positive extremes going back. There's this one potentially right here that would take us below the 0% from where we're at right now, down in the 64.40 range. So we'll see if that one's able to get some play. But again, it's just general weakness that's you got tired. It happens, and this part of that mean reversion we knew to expect. This kind of back and forth is not really too shocking. From a call buyer standpoint, they got decimated. The put buyers jumped in. Of course, they eased them off a little bit. And then we jumped into the Asian session over the weekend, which started out pretty strong, but the Europeans not very optimistic about where things are headed. So, and I think that's going to be the tail of it because at the end of the day, it's really the Europe situation that's going to start decaying much more rapidly than people are really expecting. And as that does, that's going to have its own ripple effect. The U.S. is going to develop a degree of insulation as a lot of this investment starts coming in, and that's going to support a lot of different areas and keep things modestly on the positive growth side. So nothing you can do to object to that. It's just all good stuff. It's just going to be hit and miss. And I think you're definitely going to see it regionally and more even so, probably red state to blue state as far as the discrepancies. And that's going to have a material impact going forward. As always, anything relevant, I'll put it on our team chat. Have a good one. Trade well.